Hey YouTube, what goes on? And welcome to Disavowed Action Figures with another action figure review. This time taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified number 38 Croc, Master, and Fiona. And I'm just going to say it. I am so pumped to have this thing, and this very well could be a top 10 action figure nominee of the year for this channel. Definitely for G.I. Joe Classified, but I'm thinking this might fall into the overall category or possibly the deluxe figure category, wherever I decide to place this. So excited to get this in from Amazon. Got it on July 3rd. We were celebrating the 4th of July weekend, and the girlfriend said, we're not leaving the house yet on the way to the picnic because it was 4 stops away. So excited to have this thing in hand. We're going to open it up. We're going to see how it moves. We'll take a look at it. And of course, the favorite thing I like to do on this channel, which is compare it to other action figures, G.I. Joe Classified, Marvel Legends, Star Wars, whatever else I can find on the shelf that I think will be fun to compare it with. So first, taking a closer look at the packaging, because you know if you watch Disavowed Action Figures, we love us some good packaging. This mural is friggin' gorgeous. I need this on a poster. Hasbro, why haven't you done it yet? This is the mural we're getting on the back of the new releases, such as the Storm Shadow figure, which you did also review here on the channel. Check that out. I will link it at the end of the video. We get all the figures already released and upcoming figures soon to be released, as well as this really great image here in the center of the box. This looks fantastic. As far as the top, we do get the number 38, of course, with the Cobra logo. On the sides, there's a great look right there at Croc, Master, and Fiona's jaws. It does wrap around to the front as well. On the bottom, legalese, all the nonsense you'd expect. And on the side, we of course do get all the logos that do go along with Croc Master and his power set. Feel free to check that out at the G.I. Joe website and the number 38. And important to note, we no longer get the plastic over top here of the side with the number like we used to. Overall, love the packaging. I've slowly been cycling out packaging for my collection. Once I open things up, this will stay on my shelf. Here it is. First look out at the packaging. I could not be more pumped and stoked to have this freaking thing. So many accessories. Freaking Fiona looks amazing. Notice how the bendy wire will stay in the slot of the shell, but then pop out sometimes, showing off how flexible it actually is. Very great overall display here. Let's start popping it out. First, we're going to look at the accessories. Then we're going to look at the aesthetic of each of these figures. Then we'll check out how they move around, what their articulation is like, and then we'll do some great comparisons, hopefully. So as stated, here are the accessories, and you get a lot of them for this deluxe offering from G.I. Joe Classified Hasbro, which is great. So you get 2 baby crocodiles, you get the whip, you get the knife, you get the handgun or pistol, you get the hook, and of course you get the leash here in the back. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I believe, accessories, if I counted correctly. These look freaking fantastic. Let's take a closer look at them. So let's mow through these accessories, as I know it's not the most exciting thing that you're here to see. So first of all, the kind of leash and collar looking piece. This is nice. I don't know how functional it's going to be. It does bend a little bit. It is a softer plastic, but it does immediately pretty much go right back to where it was. So I get the concept. You kind of need to have it, but there that is. The whip, similar concept. It's not going to, stay in any positioning for you or anything. It's just a soft piece of plastic. You can see if I stretch it all the way out, it bounces right back. It is soft in the handle, which is nice. You do see the motif here of the ongoing crocodile-looking skin, which is very well done overall. I do appreciate that they did manage to think to put that on the majority of the weapons and other accessories. So that looks pretty cool. That'll probably fit in his hand relatively well. I'm just going to shift the light a little bit here. We do get the knife, which, as I said, also does have that nice little kind of just that touch of the crocodile-looking scales on the handle. Otherwise, just plastic for the knife. That will store on the figure, as you'll see later. We do get the pistol, kind of revolver-looking weapon right there, as you can see. For what it is, it's fine. I believe there's also going to be a holster for this piece as well. Again, Classified, I do like the fact then most of the time you can store and or hold all the accessories at one time. Here is the kind of hook. Let me know in the comments, is there a better name? Grapple? I don't know for what this is other than a hook. But yeah, for what it is, looks pretty good. Some pretty good touches right there, as you can see with the bolt and the screw on the side. So I guess if you're messing around the crocodile. Oh, by the way, I probably will at some point accidentally say alligator. I apologize if I do that. But here are the baby crocodiles. Here's one green one. This came out very nicely. I think these are a great touch. I think these are really cool. I've seen pretty cool images people have posted online using these things. So just a nice idea for an accessory. And then finally, we also get the white crocodile here with the red eyes. It just looks cool. I think putting them in the mouth of Fiona could be pretty neat. And if you want to use this for other pictures or ideas besides, action figure, G.I. Joe classified sort of stuff, you could probably find a way to use these as well. I have a few ideas up my sleeve as some things I might do with them. But again, just a soft plastic, nicely done accessories right there. So kicking things off, first with a look at the Croc Master figure himself. I know, most of us are here to see Fiona, so am I, but we do have to look at Croc Master as well, as he is a unique piece unto himself, and it looks good. I do enjoy it. I think it definitely looks a lot different than the other classifieds that are on my shelf. Let's just back it up a little bit here. So taking a closer look at the aesthetics for this guy, I do feel as if they did a nice job. Again, it looks a lot different. That Cobra logo definitely jumps right out at me. The red on black looks great, obviously connecting into this. I'm a little bit worried about how loose this guy is. Let's talk about that during the articulation. Right here, we get the kind of lizard-looking belt buckle, which looks fantastic. I really dig that a lot. They did a lot of nice things with this. We have the asymmetrical, I believe that's the right way to use, because we do not have the same gauntlets on both sides. Here we have the kind of silver gauntlet, which is with some nice look to. There's some cracks in there as well. Then we do get the, again, motif going on here with the crocodile scales. Did a nice job on the scales here on the chest. I think they look great for what they are. The mask looks cool. The red eyes are fantastic. The red eyes really accentuate greatly with the red Cobra logo on black. Again, red on black for the mask and for that logo. The back, they did a nice job with this. I really like how they put the scales, or for lack of a better term, on the back of Croc Master, just like the scales will be on the back of Fiona. The belt itself is a nice silver paint going all the way around, which looks great. We get the holster here on the side to hold the side piece or gun. We get down here the sheath or holster on the leg to, again, for weapon storage for that knife. But overall, I think they did a great job with this guy, just taking a look at what they did with him. This tank part on the back does come off. It just pegs in right there, as you can see. So again, aesthetics on this thing look pretty fantastic. There's folds, of course, here on the legs. I'm not the kind of guy that knows where all these pieces come from, so you can let me know in the comments if these legs are from another G.I. Joe classified figure or not. But overall, again, very good aesthetics on this guy. He's going to look great on the shelf, and it's going to differentiate from other things that you have in your collection. Here is Fiona. And I gotta feel some odd vibes like the Marvel Legends Sentinel here, because not that it's that big, but it's big enough that it kind of does pose some of an issue for reviewers. So I went the route of putting the ruler directly behind. You can see that from just about tip of tail to the end of the snout, it's just about 12 inches long. Also, a lot of people have argued whether this is actually a crocodile, which would make sense because it's Croc Master, or an alligator. And it did some extensive research, of course, here. We never spare research on Disavowed action figures, but I did find out that some major differentials between crocodiles and alligators, crocodiles being much more vicious than an alligator, does tell me it's probably a crocodile. Also, crocodiles tend to be much longer. They can actually be up to 17 feet long, which is a lot longer than an actual alligator. So they are larger animals. And it depends where they are found in the world. G.I. Joe, they're on Cobra Island, so we can't really use that as a differentiator. The other big thing is that they said on crocodiles, they do have more of a V-shaped snout, whereas alligators have more of a U-shaped. So that definitely looks more like a V shape to me, as you can see. So putting in that, as long as the fact, as well the fact that it's so big, and the fact that it does have that V-shaped snout, I think we're going to go with this being an actual crocodile as opposed to an alligator. With that said, this is brought to you by the Nature Channel. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's take a closer look at this guy. And by guy, of course I mean girl, because Fiona is a female. This is freaking awesome. There are so many cool things you could do with a figure like this. I'm thinking like Disney Jungle Cruise. I'm thinking chasing after Captain Hook from Peter Pan. Apparently I'm at a Disney kick tonight. I don't know why, but a lot of cool things. Maybe you can use him in a Dio for Gambit when he goes down to the bayou. Lots of great stuff. But here underneath, as you can see, the underbelly, this is the softer plastic right here. Lots of cool this texture going on underneath for the scales that are on the bottom. You can see they do extend also to the bottom here. I guess we'll call them the front legs and the back legs. I might call them arms at some point if I do apologize. There's the little tiny holes you get with the bendy wire. We'll talk more about that during the actual articulation section. Here on this side, you can see we do get really awesome scales. As I said, very similar and reminiscent to it on the back of Croc Master himself. This is very nicely textured all the way down to the tail. The tail being the softer plastic and the harder plastic match up rather nicely. You get the scales here on the legs as well. As far as the eyes are concerned, very small eyes, but I'm guessing that is probably organically correct. The jaw, of course, we'll talk more about articulation, but looking at the jaw inside and the teeth they're soft, but they're not super soft, but a very nice white applied to the teeth, as you can see. Inside we get the pink here of the tongue, I guess you would say, and the mouth. So overall, this thing looks freaking fantastic. So excited to have it. My biggest problem is, how am I going to display this thing? It's freaking huge. So let's talk articulation here with Croc Master. The head will look down about that far. It'll look up about that far. I feel like it might pop up if you go any further. That's about as far as it's going to go. It will not rotate all the way around because of the fact that you do get the tank on the back. If you did take this piece off, which what the heck, why don't we just go ahead and do it? It will obviously rotate all the way around if you detach that hose piece on the back. As far as the torso goes, looks down about that far. There he is with the neck buried to the bottom. As far as how far back he's going to go, again, not looking up too far, but there he is with the torso looking back. Arm articulation and shoulder. Shoulder will rotate all the way around. You get about the T, almost a perfect T. You don't get much higher than the T right there on the two sides. As far as upper bicep, of course, you have that going on right there. You do have the double jointed elbow, which, let it be said, this is not a pinless figure. As you can see, pins on the elbows and pins on the knees. For whatever reason, this does not get the pinless treatment. Rotation at the wrist. You do get the lateral or horizontal articulation of the wrist, somewhat encumbered here by the gauntlet, as you can see. There is a waist swivel, which is rather tight, a little bit loose here on the torso articulation, which always gets me a little bit concerned. As far as the legs go, there are drop-down legs, so if you drop those suckers down, you do get a very good split, as you can see. You know I get nervous with these drop-down legs. Let's pop those back up. You will have some articulation that is encumbered here going out to the side with the holster for the gun. There is upper thigh swivel, as you can see right there. Double jointed knee, but again, it is not pinless. There are pins. Coming down this way, there is a boot cut, as you can see right there, so boot articulation. Feet on this much better than other figures. I sometimes feel like when they come in, they are very stiff in the feet, but not too far up, unfortunately. Very far down, which is great. Of course, the ankle rocker pivot that we all love. Hashtag RIP Glenn Webb. We did mention the cut here at the waist as well. So as you can see, your standard kind of G.I. Joe articulation, and not to forget, there is a butterfly here, but man, it does next to nothing. Unfortunately, the butterfly in this barely does anything at all, but all G.I. Joe classified tend to have butterfly articulation, so I'm guessing that's why they included it. Let's take a look at the articulation that is on Fiona. So again, due to the size of this thing being a foot long, have to kind of stretch a little bit. So articulation on Fiona, all of this here tends to be on some sort of ball. Here the head will rotate. It will go all the way around if you wanted to. Not that it could. We mentioned the jaw articulation opens about that much. That looks great. The bottom stays down. The top is what drops down. So again, there is your head. There is also this connection piece back here. This also will rotate all the way around. They will work together to see how far Fiona can look looking up. And again, if we do this and open up the jaw, gives you a good idea of what the articulation looks like right there. In the back, the tail will rotate all the way around. It will pop right off, so you can see the ball right there in the hole, but it does stay fastened rather well. It's just that the way it's made, it will pop off. So this will rotate to the sides, will rotate all the way around. I just dropped it. I'm going to put that back up. My apologies. But you can see that will be a little bit loose. Just be careful with that. There is bendy wire in the tail, so you can see here as I spin it all the way around, it will hold its form, which is great. Not all bendy wire will always hold its form. That will pretty much stay. So there's lots of things you could do with the tail to kind of animate that a little bit more. As far as the legs are concerned, they will rotate all the way around. There is articulation down here at the foot. It will go up about that far, down about that far. It will hinge and move a little bit, again, all the way around. You can see it comes out about very high if you really wanted to, right about there. The back, a little bit better right here, all the way around. Again, all four of the feet do have articulation, as you can see right there. So about that far up, about that far down. It also will have that ankle rocker pivot that we like on the human figures. But again, overall, this thing is fantastic. Articulation looks great. Lots of things you could do with this thing. And I'm just looking forward to trying to just mess around with it and find different ways to use this crocodile. Also important to note that both hands on here are going to be trigger finger hands, as you can see right there, trigger finger and trigger finger. So the gun will go in there. We're not going to put it in there for now, but it will go right here into the holster. Also, as I said, loving the fact that you can store things on these figures. The knife will go directly into the sheath right there on the ankle. As far as the little baby crocodiles go, they will go with their mother Fiona. This will be a little bit harder to get in. The hands are pretty stiff, I'm not gonna lie. You kind of have to work the hands, but it is a rather soft plastic right there on the handle of the whip, which is great. But again, even if you can't store everything, it's nice to know that for the majority of the time, you can have the figure hold things. As far as the hook is concerned, again, I probably won't have him holding this. It'll probably just be kind of on the side of the shelf somewhere. If you really wanted to, you could probably hook it on the back or something along here, just to, not lose it, basically, not to put it in storage. And then, of course, you do have the collar piece, which we will put around Fiona's neck now and kind of see how it looks. So admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of this collar and leash piece. I probably won't use it just because, again, it's going to take up a lot of space. It doesn't quite go all the way around the neck and the head as it probably should. So we'll kind of get rid of that. But one thing I did want to show off, which I'm pretty excited to do, is the fact you can take the little baby crocodiles here and kind of position them in Fiona's mouth, which does look pretty cute and pretty cool. I don't know if that's actually what crocodiles do or not, but I think for our purposes, that looks pretty neat if the mama crocodile is protecting her baby crocodiles. So as far as comparisons go, here is the Crocmaster G.I. Joe Classified with one of his brothers in arms from Cobra, the Target exclusive Cobra Island exclusive Major Blood. You can see that Crocmaster is a rather larger figure, the buck being slightly taller than Blood. Here's Crocmaster standing with another G.I. Joe Classified figure, the Target exclusive Cobra Island Firefly. And again, you can see really the difference here, where Crocmaster is much taller than Firefly, with his head actually being apparently higher than the drone on his backpack. Here is Crocmaster scaling next to a larger G.I. Joe Classified figure, the BAT Bat Army Builder. You can see that they are pretty much the same height. I feel like maybe the Bat might be like a millimeter taller. Kind of hard to tell, but again, kind of seeing him with the larger figures. The fact that he does line up with a larger android figure kind of tells you the size of Crocmaster. Here's Crocmaster standing with a smaller G.I. Joe Classified female buck, the Baroness Target exclusive Cobra Island figure that came with the coil. And again, he definitely towers above her, being almost an entire head taller than the femme fatale of Cobra. Here's Croc Master rotating along on the base with some Marvel Legends figures, the black suit Spider-Man Peter Parker Marvel Legend, and the Wolverine yellow and brown version. So again, you can see as far as how they scale, they're all 6-inch scale figures. However, Croc Master is taller than both of these Marvel Legends. As far as random comparisons, here is our G.I. Joe Classified Croc Master standing with our Storm Collectibles Skeleton Army Builder figure. Here is Croc Master with the NECA TMNT Raphael in Disguise from the Raphael in Disguise Casey Jones NECA TMNT movie 2-pack. Here's Croc Master standing with Feral Cheetah from the Plunderlings, and also our Yoda Black Series Star Wars from the 2-pack that came along with Luke. So you can definitely see 3 varying size figures as they scale right here. Here's Croc Master standing with the 7-inch DC Multiverse, I'd say slightly larger, big mother fracker Lobo figure. Lobo just dwarfing the size of Croc Master here. So we've seen a lot of kind of more average or smaller figures standing with him. Here is a much larger one. A little bit harder to get a good angle here to show off Fiona's comparisons. But here is Fiona standing with the Timber from the G.I. Joe Classified Timber and Snake Eyes Alpha 2-pack. And again, looks great. This thing is just freaking huge. And here is another Hasbro animal type figure, the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure Marvel Legends, that I absolutely love. One of my favorite all-time Build-A-Figures from Marvel Legends, here with Fiona. And I feel like these fit really well together. Not that I'm exactly a wildlife specialist, but I kind of feel like the size of the bear and the size here of the crocodile Fiona go relatively well together. And it's very cool that across lines between Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe Classified, we're getting all these different animal figures. We're obviously going to have Freedom coming along with Spirit later on. We have Timber. So you kind of have this whole like subline of Hasbro animal figures, which really seem to be kind of coming together nicely. And you have to think they're going to look really great on a shelf or in a picture together somewhere down the road. And as we are huge fans of Disney here on the channel, I mentioned earlier, kind of feel like there would be some really great ideas people can do with Captain Hook along with Fiona here. If you're not a Disney fan, in the Peter Pan movies, cartoon, the original movie, Captain Hook was constantly plagued and followed by either a crocodile or an alligator. Let me know in the comments which one it was. But these actually scale up really well together. This is the Disney Toy Box Captain Hook. I'm a bit of a Peter Pan connoisseur. Yeah, they go well together. I kind of feel like you could probably do some pretty cool things with the Peter Pan franchise having this crocodile in hand along with Captain Hook. And last, as always, here's our favorite piece of fruit in the basket. Orange Cassidy from the AEW Unrivaled series by Jazzwares. And I don't know, like Orange Cassidy's a pretty laid-back dude, but even he would probably run away from a crocodile-looking dude along with his pet Fiona. So my final thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified Croc Master and Fiona, number 38 in the Classified series, is that this is a must-buy. This thing is fantastic. I'm really trying to be careful of how I spend my money. Obviously, I'm pretty much all in on G.I. Joe Classified for the most part, although not a completionist, but this is amazing. This very easily will have to be considered as a top 10 action figure of 2022, in my opinion, whether it's in the overall action figure line, whether it's in the idea of G.I. Joe Classified, or in my top 10 deluxe figures, depending where this does fall. Fiona is amazing. I'm not a very original person, I'll be honest, but even I could think of multiple ideas to use this crocodile in different images and photos and videos and Instagram reels in the future. Croc Master himself, although the articulation and the non-pinless figure is not fantastic, did a lot of cool things with them, including the scales on the back, all the accessories, and he just looks menacing, and that Cobra logo will pop out great on your shelf. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free for you. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps us grow that channel tremendously. Then hit that bell for notifications. That way YouTube will actually tell you when we post new content here on the channel, like our weekly toy hunts, our reviews, and live streams. Leave a comment down below. Hit that like button. And for daily toy content and daily toy updates, check us over at Instagram and Twitter at Disavowed_12. Hey everybody, if you're going toy hunting this week, try to remember the three P's of the toy hunt: patience, persistence, but most of all, politeness. Take care, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing all of you at the pegs.